Hey, this is Peace of Mind here. I started this YouTube channel because I always had really weird dreams. So I figured, why not use YouTube just to put them out there? Because, hey, somebody needs to document this craziness. So, the night before last, I had a dream that started at my house, but it wasn't my house on the outside or the inside, really. But on the outside, it was like a city like back street or whatever, but then there was a bunch of drunk people just out in the middle of the street. So I don't know what that was about, but there was a lot of drunk people outside my house, and then we go into my house, and it was a living room, but it wasn't my living room. I think it was the living room from my grandmother's house, and there were some people in there. I didn't know who they were, and my dad was there, but he wasn't my dad. He wasn't anything like my dad. He was a Mexican. He was a Mexican man, and he was talking to this repair guy about the air conditioning in the guest room. So the guy was saying that he fixed it or whatever, but he didn't. And I don't know what happened with that. Regardless, went into the living room. No, the guest room. This was actually the guest room that was in my house, and my cousin and some other white girl was in there. I don't know. She was probably maybe 16 years old, 16, 17. She looked like I think she resembled a girl that I went to middle school with, maybe in like the seventh grade. And then there was another guy. He was like maybe 12 years old, 12, 13. And he was Caucasian also. And for whatever reason, this girl up on the side, she was like, "Yeah, let's go get tattoos somewhere." And it's in a place like in Port Allen somewhere, which is like 30 minutes away from my house in nowhere. So we drove out there, and instead of going to get tattoos, we stopped at like this shopping center, and we parked in front of Marshalls. But the building said Marshalls, but it when we went in, it was like it was supposed to me, like in my dreams. Just side note, I don't know about everybody else, but like I'll get the feeling that something is supposed to be a way, but I visually see it another way. But it was supposed to be like a playland thing, except for it was like just this huge empty space. It's just really empty. Like it was way bigger than it should have been from on the outside of the building. It was this big empty space, and then we went off into what was like a movie theater area. It was the same building, but it was like off on the side, and we had to take our shoes off before we went in. And then we went into the theater, and there was a guy that walked us in like a I don't know, I can't think of the name of what they're called, but someone that got us into the movie theater and showed us where it was and whatever. And the woman who actually made the movie was there, and she had this white parakeet in a cage, and she was talking to the girl that I was with, and the girl just kept saying, "Oh, how'd you get so many references into the movie? What references? I don't know." But she was saying, "Oh, how'd you work so many references into the movie? It was amazing." Blah, blah, blah. Like we didn't even sit down and watch the movie. We were standing off on a little side part, the little elevated slant, whatever. So she was talking to her. I was looking around, whatever, and then we left. And from there, I think we went back to my house. We didn't go get tattoos, but whatever. I don't know. So we went back to my house, and there was still a whole bunch of drunk people outside of the house, except for my cousin and the girl were gone, and it was just me and the younger guy. And for whatever reason, I got the feeling that the whole reason why everybody was drunk was because I guess like peer pressure to drink or something. Like if you had a boyfriend, they'll make you want to drink or whatever. And even though this was my house, so I just knew that the younger guy that was with me, this was like his neighborhood. It wasn't really mine. Oh, okay. Sorry, my computer went out. But it wasn't really my neighborhood; it was his, and it made him like he started crying like a little bit, like tearing up because he was just so sad and distraught to see his town come to such a wasteland, I guess, because of this drunkenness. I don't know. And but we were driving up in a it was a white Mustang, I think it was a white convertible of some sort, Cadillac, I don't know what it was, but we drove up and we were driving. But as we got into it and he started getting upset or whatever, we were walking, but we were walking. I think I was walking outside of the car and he was walking inside the car. He was walking. The car was still moving, but we were walking in it. But whatever. And so we finally got to the house. We got in the house. We like carried two drunk guys over our shoulders and brought them in the house and put them on the couch and like cover them up or whatever. And then oh, I completely forgot about this part. I don't know where this came in exactly. I think this was after the whole going to movie theater part. I went off into a whole nother section of a dream where I was at a bus. No, my dad, which was my real dad, he drove me into this area like that was maybe 30 minutes out of from where I live, and took me to a bus stop. Granted, there's no bus stop there, but for whatever reason, there was a bus stop in this situation, and I was supposed to be getting a bus ticket to go to California, but my dad he just dropped me there, which he wouldn't just do, but he just dropped me there, and I went to get a ticket for to take a Greyhound to California, and I think I was going to California for a seminar on something. I don't really remember what it was about, but I was going to California. So I go into the bus station, and I've never been into a bus station, but I guess my subconscious made it look something like a rundown airport. I don't know. But that's what it looked like. And as I went in, I passed this like little like fruit stand. It wasn't a fruit stand. It was like an actual like if you ever go to a farmer's market, that's what it looked like inside, but it was outside of the. It was like connected to the bus station, but it was like covered in like tarps or whatever, and it looked like a little Mexico. I don't know why there's so many Mexican references in this dream because I just don't know. But like I saw it and I saw that it had bananas for 49 cents. I don't know if that's significant or not, but I specifically remember that the bananas were 49 cents each. So I was like, oh, it looks good, and so I might come back. So I went to go get my bus ticket, and I bought the ticket, and I was like, cool. So I was about to go sit down, and naturally, in real life, I'm pretty ADD. I don't like to sit down. So I went to go get a seat, and I was like, no, I'm gonna go get me some fruit because I'm hungry. But as I was going to get my seat, don't judge me, but I saw it was either Mary Kate or Ashley. I don't know which one it was. It was one of the Olsen twins, and I saw one of them, and she was with two other girls. I was like, oh, cool. So I went to go like speak to her or whatever, and I was like, oh, are you going to California for this? And she was kind of like, how people don't want to talk to you, but they just answer you anyway. And it's kind of like she was like, oh yeah. She was like, oh, do you want to sit by us? And she scooted over, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll be right back. And I went to go get the fruit. So I went to the fruit stand and I was looking around looking for food, and they were I don't know what kind of fruit they were selling. I really don't remember. I got a little thing of fruit and like they were selling Halloween candy, like but Mexican type Halloween candy with like all the skulls and stuff, and like the bride skeletons and groom skeletons and stuff like that. I bought some of that, and I forgot of all things, but the bananas that actually stood out. I bought it, left, and I remembered I forgot the bananas, and I came back, and then the lady started talking to me, and don't know what we were talking about, but I think we were talking about wedding dresses or whatever. And I think I tried one on. I don't know how the hell that happened, but whatever. And like she liked me because I don't know, she liked my conversation or whatever, and so she wrote my name down on like either a piece of cloth or an old T-shirt or something like that, along with some other girls' names that she liked, and she was like, "Oh, you're the American girl or whatever," and she's like, "Oh, well, I know these other girls from China," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I'm about to be late for my bus, and so I left, and I missed my bus, and I started talking to this girl that I was trying to figure out what the heck to do because I never took a bus, so I didn't know what to do about it. I missed the bus. I didn't know if it was the only bus or whatever, and so I was looking for somebody. Nobody, like it was pretty much empty. Granted, when I came in there was a buttload of people waiting for buses. It was really busy, and then once I finished talking to this lady, nobody. So I went. I was looking for people. The only person I could find was this girl that was cleaning up the bus station. And I was like, "Oh, what do I do? I missed my bus. Is there any more? Or whatever. Could you help me?" So she took me to a security guard, and he was like, "Oh, well, I can't help you or whatever." I don't know. And then after that, I don't know how. I think she led me to the room where there was this guy. Granted, I don't know for sure, but I think it was President Barack Obama. I don't know. It was some black guy, and I knew he had some type of power. I don't know who he was, but he was talking to some other guy, and I think they were doing some type of business deal. It looked like some mafia crap going on. I don't know what the heck is going on. But I went in there. I was like, "Oh, can you help me? I don't know what to do." He was like, "If I were you, I'll go get a plane ticket or whatever." And he started. Well, no, this was what happened first. He pulled out this sheet music, like if you for like if you play the piano or whatever, it was sheet music, and he was like, "Look at this really carefully." And I was looking at it. He was like going over it, like skimming it with his finger, and then then he started to read the words to the music, or whatever. And I'm like, okay. And then he told me, "It's like if I were you, I'll get a plane." I was like, okay. So then I walked out, and then all of a sudden I'm back with, how I was saying, with the guy, and we were outside my house, and still drunk because he was sad, and um, and we put the drunk people on my couch. Okay, so after we put the drunk people on the couch and covered them up, whatever, I it was still me, but I was the repair guy from the beginning of the dream that was supposed to be fixing the air conditioner. And when I looked at it, I saw how to rig it. I rigged it. I didn't really completely fix it, but I made it better to make the airflow a little better. But I was the repairman. It was still me though, kind of thing. And so my dad, the Mexican guy, that's definitely not my dad, came in. I showed him how I kind of fixed it. It's a little bit better, and he was kind of like, "Okay, that'll work for now." And so then after that, the younger guy that was like 12, 13 years old, what was he talking about? I don't know what happened, but he started quoting the same thing that President Barack Obama or some black guy uh, was had read to me, and then somebody who was also in the room, he was like, "Oh, where you learned that?" And he was like, "Oh, the president taught that to me." And I think that was the end of the day. So, like I said, this is peace of mind. If anybody could interpret that into something, let me know. Like your feedback. So, subscribe to my channel. Peace of mind.